everybody. Welcome back live at Drew's house, Joppa Afternoon Drive. Hope you're all doing well. What is it, 100 out there? My goodness, it is a hot day. I love it. I know a lot of you hate it. I think I'll say that a lot during shows this summer. But we're excited today. On a very hot day, if you're driving around, keep the AC on. If you're parking in the driveway, stay right there, because we got a great show for you here. A guest, it's been, he tells me it's been like about a year. John Moynihan, the former executive director at the Firehouse Center for the Arts, is in the house. We've been meaning to do this for a while, John. We got to make sure people are calling. They want to know what happened. They want to know if you're okay. How's he doing? Have him on the show. How are you, my man?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Doing good. Happy summer to you.
Happy summer. I can't believe it. Mid-June. Almost end of June.
Yeah, I know. Crazy, right?
Summer's almost over. 4th of July.
That's what they say, right?
That's what they say.
Yeah, once the 4th comes and goes. Actually, we did. I was reading a story today. Is it today? No, today's the longest day of the year, like with as far as minutes of sunlight go.
Really?
And we actually start by the seconds. We start ticking back.
All right.
You know? So it's crazy. We've started the slow drip back.
There we go. I thought that happened over the weekend, but
it's not. It's different than the solstice.
Gotcha.
It's the actual hours of daylight is like different than the actual. Yeah.
Learned something new.
Technicalities.
I learned something new today.
There you go. That's why you come on this show.
That's exactly why.
It is hot out there. Are you doing okay in the heat?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. It is very warm.
Nice choice. I like the what is it salmon beige?
It's probably salmon-ish.
Salmonish.
Salmon adjacent, as they say.
It's a good color.
Yeah.
It was a little hot on this. I decided to hey Maeve. Maeve Power. A good time to introduce. She's always whenever Maeve runs in, it's either I'm doing something wrong or the camera needs adjustment for the TV side. But how you been, John? What's new? Tell people what's going on in your life.
A lot's new, a lot is different, but at the end of the day, I'm still the same. Kids are still getting older.
Yep.
Which is crazy, but yeah, doing something a little bit different.
Yep.
Which has been it's been interesting. It's been interesting to do that, but it's also been really nice to be able to know, every day when I'm going home that I made a difference for somebody today, or that we made sure that somebody was cool or fed or had the right sorts of things. And while I've always believed that the arts does that and has done that, doing something a little bit different is definitely a breath of fresh air and just an exciting new adventure.
Nice. You guys still in New Hampshire? The kids are out of school in New Hampshire?
They are. Yeah. They are out of school, and the craziest thing is my oldest is going to be a high schooler.
Wow.
Next year.
Pretty intense.
It is. It's incredibly intense. When I first started down here, he was in first grade.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
So now it's we've made quite a leap.
Does it go by as fast as all parents say it goes by?
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. It sure does.
That was part of why you left the Firehouse gig, right? Is because you just the kids, they grow up fast, and like you wanted to make sure you were there for some of this stuff. And let's face it, if you're into that music and art scene and all that, like it's as great as it is, the hours can be tough.
The hours can be. Yeah. It was crazy. They are getting older, and they are wanting to still hang out.
Yep.
And I don't want to miss that.
That's still cool.
That's still cool. That's still cool, and he's still able to do that. And yeah, it was a lot with the nights and weekends. But that's what you sign up for.
Yeah.
That's what you sign up for when you're in the arts. And I love it, and like I said, I miss a lot of it. But I don't miss not being able, not being around on weekends.
Yes.
For the kids. This is my first summer since, honestly, since any of my kids are born, that I haven't been doing shows in the weekends.
Summer's busy over there, I mean, I guess it really is always busy. There's always a new calendar, right? But it does feel like summer's a big tour. It's a big tourist town here, big tourist city, and people flock here, and you guys always try to have shows ready. So I know Craig and the guys are doing that right now over there.
They are. No, they got some good music coming up this weekend.
Yeah. No, I should look at their schedule. I should talk a little bit more about that. But have you seen? You going to any summer shows there, or do you have any plans to go check something out this summer?
Yeah, I probably will. They're doing Legally Blonde.
Oh, that's right.
That opens next Friday.
Yeah.
Next Friday, I believe. They have a great concert this weekend. I think her name is Maya DeVitri.
Oh, okay.
I listened to her music when it popped up, and it aligns with what we were doing a little bit previously. That nice folksy Americana sort of sound.
Yeah. How many years did you end up doing the executive director role?
About 7.5.
7.5. And so, and if you really go back, because I mean, you were in school and you did arts, and
Yep.
I mean, how many years in the arts would you say before you left it, if you had to total them all up?
Oh, gosh. I've been doing theater since like elementary school. So I've literally been doing my entire life, and then like from college through the Firehouse, about 20 years.
Yeah, because you did the New York stand
Yep.
and all that.
Well, I mean, I waited tables in New York, and I worked at a Broadway theater as a
that
bartender.
That counts, my
but
friend.
I'm still in the arts.
You're in the arts. So, but my point, when you total all that stuff up, you do it your whole life. I mean, literally since elementary school. It's was that like, I know the answer to this already, but it must have been a tough thing. Just to, no matter what you did, no matter what the other job was, it must have been hard to like say, you know what, I'm going to leave the arts at least for this stage of my life.
Yeah, I mean, it was strange because it's almost been like that's all I've known.
Yeah.
For for a long time, and for a lot of my professional career was about 15 years straight between New Hampshire and here at Newburyport, that I was running, working, and doing arts and doing doing theater, doing music, doing those types of things, and bringing those types of experiences to folks. And so I miss that aspect of it, and I miss there are bits and pieces that I miss of the of the putting on the shows and that. But now I like being able to be someone that can just take it in, and not have to worry about that microphone is a little hot, or why is that? Why are there batteries out? So
that was my follow up. Can you just take it all in, or is there a part of you that's like somebody should tell them? Somebody should tell, no matter where you go. I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always that, because I think you always have that sort of in the back of your mind when you work in the field, but at the same time, I would never wanted somebody to tell me, like, that's not right. It's like, we know, we're just, and we're working on it. So
don't come into my house and tell me you don't like the paint color.
Right. Exactly. So so I mean, I definitely still notice stuff like that, but at the same time, I always give it a little bit of grace, because I know that we're always doing the best we can. Yeah. And that's really all you can really ever be asked to do.
Are there similarities between being the executive director of the Firehouse, which was your former position, and like going to another job in another industry, or even like, I don't know, even like parenting? Are there skills that you learned from the Firehouse that you're like, you know what, those were good life skills that I'm bringing to real life here?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's yeah. I mean, well, I think you bring all aspects of your of your life into, whether it's work or you bring like work lessons home.
Sure.
Like definitely by being a parent, you learn patience. Yeah. And when you're dealing with people, as in the arts or in any sort of customer service, you need to have that patience, and you need to come at it with a again, it's the people are doing the best we can. We're just we're trying. We're all on the same team here. We're all on the same page.
So you're saying, running a major theater, you needed patience with people. That's what you're telling me.
That is one of the things that was needed. Yeah, I mean, among others, but yeah, I mean, you're always. You're always wanting to make sure that you're making a good impression, making sure that people are feeling the same sort of vibe and excitement that you are about what it is that you're doing. So yeah, I think that's something that I've always tried to do. Is I'd like to bring the bring that same sort of energy to whatever I'm doing, whether it's running a theater or whether it's trying to raise money for folks in need. It's all about this is why we're doing it. We're doing it for for this reason, for these people, and here's how your support can help.
Well, you were amazing at that when you did it. My last question actually on that, because I do want to talk about a couple other things. Sure. But do you ever have I have these like work nightmares where I'll wake up and like maybe I've taken a nap in the afternoon, and I wake up and I see that it's 4:00, and I think it's 4:00 in the morning, and I say, oh no, I got to get to work. And it still happens to me. I've been there 17 years now at WBZ in Boston. It still happens to me. Do you have you had any work nightmares of did I oversleep a show? Any flashbacks, any of that?
I mean, not recently, but we've that's happened many times when we used to work. So the operations manager there, Sarah, and I used to work together in Portsmouth too, and we used to always talk about like we'd have those Portsmouth nightmares in the middle of the summer. We'd be like, oh my goodness, what happened? What day is it? Where am I?
Yeah.
And yeah, that definitely happened. That happened while I was at the firehouse. It happened, it happens where I am now sometimes too. We had a big annual meeting a couple weeks ago. And yeah, a couple nights before I wake up, I'm like, oh gosh, is today the day? Where am I? Do I have everything? Did I do this? Did I do that? The morning of, I'm like printing name tags. It's like, well, what if the printer doesn't work? What if we don't have what we need?
It is crazy. I guess that's just an aspect of life. It probably happens in every line of work, but
yeah. Well, and especially in my role now, I still have we still do a few events, so I still have that. I still able to scratch that itch every once in a while.
You must take control. This is what we're doing.
Try to, but I also at the same time I also try to realize and recognize that I'm coming in. I'm new. They've been doing things a certain way for a little bit.
Yeah.
So take it all in to start, and then we can slowly make some adjustments as things come along.
You and I were both we would have been last year. I have never really thought about how long I had been in the radio business. And I did, but it was out of college. I did college radio, and I was lucky enough to get a job in radio, which right out of school, which not everybody who's looking for it gets. But I did. So I'm pushing 20 years of radio. It's strange to think about doing anything else, although I do think about it. It's I think everybody does.
Yeah.
And I wonder what would be your best advice, or for somebody making a jump that's kind of been, I'm not going to say stuck because I'm happy, but this isn't about me, John. but to somebody who's maybe,
what are you trying to say, Drew?
This is the therapy when it kicks in, right? But because I do think a lot of people get stuck in their jobs and maybe feel like it's too late to move, or I've only known this for so long. What do you need to make that jump?
I think a lot of it is don't be afraid to take that risk.
Yeah, that's easy to say though.
It is. It definitely is. And so when I was when I was looking, I sort of had an idea of what I wanted to do, and I'd had an idea for a couple of years what I wanted to do. I don't remember if I shared this with you, but so my wife's a teacher, which I know you know,
and a diehard Hanson fan.
We're going to see them.
Coming up?
Yeah, August 10th. They're playing. Remember up at Thompson?
Sorry.
Thompson Point. Yeah.
August 10th is very, very coming quickly.
I know. You're telling me. You're telling me. But during COVID, that was her first full year teaching, and my son was in 4th grade, and my daughter was just starting kindergarten. 5 years old, can't read, and I was home, and just seeing all the work that had to go into between the teachers trying to make things happen and learn and see what happens. And then seeing the progress that my daughter made from September, December, January. It was really November through the end of January where they were home the entire time, and I was with them. And seeing that progress and having that sort of being a part of that and having a hand in that really was I really do enjoy this. I enjoy helping people. I enjoy knowing that the work that I'm doing is having an impact on people's lives.
Yeah.
And I think that, I think that's we really did that here at the firehouse. But when I was ready to start looking, that was really where I was focused in on. I was trying to do those sorts of human or social services.
Yeah.
Where when I go to work and when I come back from work, the work that I'm doing is to make my community a better place.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely was scary. It was scary kind of going through the process and being like, okay, what are we going to do? Am I going to get this job? Am I going to go through all of this and then not get this job? And am I going to be disappointed if I don't? So, yeah, I think, but I still, and even so, there was still that slight hesitation of okay. Sure. What am I going to do? I have all these people that work here and all these people that do that. But, I knew at the end of the day that I needed to do what was best for my family, needed to do what was best for my kids.
Yeah.
And, even small little things, my son, we went to the movies twice this year.
Wow.
And my oldest was we'd never been able to do this before when you were working. I was like, you know what, you're right.
Yeah.
We weren't. We went to go see Wicked, and then we went to go see a Minecraft movie.
Okay.
Now, one I really wanted to see, and the other one I could have been okay with. And, you decide which is which. But just it was a risk. It was, but it definitely paid off.
Well,
it has been paying off.
You mentioned you're now a part of this other working community, and you're very much a part of that community now. The thing with that is when you're in that other role that you had, the executive director of the firehouse, you are automatically a big part of that community too. People recognize you. They ask you about shows. They ask you about whatever's coming. When the tickets go on sale. You're just always having conversations, right, around the city. So you're going to a new community that you're going to do similar conversations with, but it's bittersweet to leave all those people behind. Never mind the people that you work with too. I know that's hard. You had a big staff over there, so
and thankfully though a lot of them are still doing it, and still working. Still making the shows happen, still making the magic happen. So like I'm really happy for them. I'm really happy that they're able to continue to do it and do it down here, because Newburyport is still such a special place. And the firehouse is such a special place, and it plays such an integral role in the fabric of the city. So it's just really I'm forever grateful that I was able to be here for as long as I was.
I'm sure you're proud of a million things there, but you also led that place. Thing that you just mentioned, COVID, a word that I try not to say on here anymore because we're done with it.
We are sometimes, so done.
And done with it in its pandemic way. But you led that theater through a very turbulent time, and a lot of places didn't make it. And, it must be a proud thing for you to look back and go, we were creative, we were strong, and it probably came out stronger. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, in many ways we did, and in many ways, it was a real group effort. The board really stepped up during during COVID to make sure that there were things going, and they were super supportive of a lot of the different things and avenues that we were that we were trying to do. And it was a challenge. It was a challenge coming out, trying to kind of find that balance again. And I think what was what I think was needed for me, and what I think was needed for the organization as well, is I think I had my vision. I had what I thought we were trying to do, and what we had done pretty well for quite some time. But in a post-pandemic world, things really changed. And there were definitely times where it was tough to adapt to that, and I think that ultimately what was needed and was right for both of us was there was a need for a different energy to guide the next aspect of it, and I think that like I said, it was the right time for everybody.
Nice. All right, last one on that subject. Do you ever see yourself possibly going back to not the theater, but any theater, any arts community, and maybe a smaller role? You want to be back in? Do you think you need to scratch that itch in 10 years? How do you?
I don't know. I mean, like I don't,
it's cool not to know, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like I'm really enjoying what I'm doing now, and I'm really excited about learning so many different things and learning an entirely different sort of aspect, and it's something that every community has. Like Newburyport has a regional community action. But a lot of times you don't know about it, and a lot of times you don't know about it until you need it. And so like my goal in where I am up in Stratford County is to try to educate people about what it is, the real support and the real work that we do, and avoiding sort of and breaking down sort of the stigmas that come along with that.
Yeah. All right. Very cool. John Moynihan joining us. He's the former executive director of the Firehouse Center for the Arts, and probably, I think he may have the most appearances on our show. He's certainly one of our favorite guests here.
We were pretty regular for a while.
We were cooking.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, we had to go. People were calling in. They were like, "We need more. We need more John.
We need more Moynihan."
Wait a minute. It was that voice. It was you.
You caught me.
It's good to catch up with our good friend John here. We got a busy summer. Is always big music time. I'm actually going to see the Counting Crows this week.
Oh, nice.
With the girlfriend Julianne.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's come up before. You're a Counting Crows fan, right?
Yeah, we went to go see them when they were touring with Dashboard a couple of years ago.
Oh,
Dashboard Confessional.
Yeah. Dashboard was the first band on, right?
They sure were, yeah.
Thank God.
Well, and Dashboard kind of fits very well into my wife's sort of
perfect
jam. Like, and it's so funny. Like Hanson, completely not like, emo sort of thing. But then,
Yeah.
it's Dashboard Confessional. We're going to see The Offspring in July. We're going to, My Chemical Romance is playing 2 nights in Fenway.
Oh, you're going to more shows these days. Look
I
at
know.
you.
So we're going. We're going to see them in Fenway. So
Nice. Yeah.
those types of things. We're going to go see We the Kings at Wally's Pub.
That's living, my friend. Now you're living.
It was a fun time.
There was a time you would have probably bumped into me at that show, at that place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, never mind. I'm not going to tell that story.
It's not safe for air.
It'll be okay. But it would have been okay, but I'm gonna let that one go. Actually, Hosier is at the Fenway tonight.
Oh, is he?
Night
Okay.
2 of 2.
There you go.
Yeah, hot. It's gonna be hot. if everybody knows.
Ireland's own.
Ireland's own. Yeah. It's fun. I saw him at Boston Calling. I think that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And he actually is very, like the guys like Springsteen get the headlines right now but he's very political too.
Yeah.
In his own way.
In his own way, It's like a Van Morrison.
Yes, but not afraid to speak, which I'm always curious with. I don't know. And this political climate, it's crazy. Like I get worried about some of these guys who are saying that. I'm worried about Bruce.
Yeah.
These Trump people that are not happy with the anti-Trump comments. They say very threatening things to the man. He's not even playing here. He's playing in Europe.
I know.
Which makes him even more mad. He's saying those things in Europe. I don't know.
I know. Yeah. There's a lot of division.
There is.
A lot of division.
That's what music's all about, though.
Right. Well, that's what it's meant to be. Like, it's the arts were always sort of meant to be like that great unifier.
Yeah.
They're meant to make you think. They're meant to make you. You may not always agree with what's being said or the subject matter.
Yeah.
But it's I think the arts has always sort of tried to be or want to be, and arts are inherently political.
Yes.
They have been since
I know.
the Greek days of Greek theater, back in the day.
Yeah.
And so now when folks say, one way or the other, that it's this or that, it's like, maybe you're just thinking too hard.
I mean, seriously, and like the shut up and sing thing is like, well, that's not, I mean, you haven't been listening to your so-called favorite artist here,
Right.
Like there's a chance. Like I know there were people who booed Hosier last night. He made a rant, and then he said something about a free Palestine, and that got some boos, which you can imagine it at a place it would these days. And I'm thinking to myself, like if you're full-fledged booing that comment from Hosier, you probably don't understand a lot of his lyrics,
Right.
know? because it is a lot of that stuff is very politically based, as his writing and all that. So I don't know. It always just makes me kind of like, I don't know, Dave Matthews, Springsteen, all these guys that have been making stances, 2 of my favorites right there. It's like, if he's kind of always been doing it, you've just been missing it.
Right, right. And also from like the from the other side, from the folks who like go off on Ted Nugent or Kid Rock.
Yeah.
It's like, again, were you paying attention? Like one of Kid Rock's most famous songs is a riff on Sweet Home Alabama.
Yes.
Like
Literally the same riff, the same way through, the whole way through, right?
So actually, did you know that is a mashup of Werewolves in London and
I did.
Sweet
Yes.
Home Alabama?
Yeah, because I messed around with that at the campfire one night when somebody told me that for the first time. I said, "Oh yeah, there it is." Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
Warren Zevon. I believe that man should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I think I think he kind of is on that special exemption this time around.
Yep.
I think they're putting him in this year, but like he should have been. He should have been in there.
Agreed. Well, the same. Like the fact that it took Dave Matthews like 2 or 3 votes to get in, like that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What they did for music when they when they first came out was a completely different sound in like the early '90s.
Sure.
With all of that, so.
And there's. I know you and I have had the Dave Matthews talk, but in some of the middle stuff you didn't like, some of or maybe the more newer stuff. I won't pin you down on what you didn't like, but like people will refer to him and be like, "Oh yeah, I remember seeing him in college. It's not my thing." And I'm like, there has been other stuff since Crash and Ants Marching.
What?
Yeah.
What?
He's a grown man with a family now.
I know. He's like in mid-50s,
and writes about.
He can't move the same way.
And he writes about a lot of other stuff. So
he does.
You might want to check out the 20 years you missed.
Right, I know. Like my two sisters and my brother-in-law went to go see Fish up in Manchester.
Oh, 3 nights right there, right?
Yeah, I think it was 2. I think it was,
Was it 2 nights?
Friday, Saturday.
Oh, okay,
I
2
think.
nights.
Yeah, well, maybe they decided. I don't know. Fish was never really my thing.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I get it. I
Yeah.
respect it. Trey's great.
Yes, he is.
Fantastic musician.
Yep.
But yeah, the whole I could never go to 75 shows a year. Like,
Yeah, I mean it's a lot. It's a lot to to do that. But well, yeah, and I joked. I said what they play like 4 or 5 songs because they do. They are like they're the Grateful Dead of our generation, which we've all everyone agrees with.
And we don't. Yes, we don't want to fight about the differences, people, because
That's right. There are. We know. But my sister, my younger sister, is like very like a huge Fish fan. She has seen them like several times. She's seen them in Colorado, like over out there. Like they'll go and travel to see them. And she was talking about. She's like, they played stuff from like their new stuff. Like they've made like I know they've had like 4 albums since 2010. I haven't listened to any of them. So it's like all right. So like I mean it is like when you have that sweet spot of music that you really just like connect with, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to watch that artist evolve.
Yes.
And I own it. I own up to it. I really, I do. I just, there are just as Dave got older and his voice changed and he couldn't do what he could do anymore and he started singing more in like the falsetto and he became more like Magic 106.7 sort of music. I was like, that's just not what that's not not as much my thing anymore.
I will say
I still like the stuff.
This tour, I haven't seen a show this tour in person, but I've seen clips.
Yeah.
And they have. Wait, that's a lie. Sorry, he was at Boston Calling, so I did see the show. But for some reason, I treat that differently. I treat Festival Dave differently.
Agreed.
But it's a lighter schedule this year. It's not
right,
and intentionally, I think.
Yeah.
And I notice his voice is stronger. It's a real thing.
It is. I mean, when you're out singing 150 shows a year, it's a strain.
Yeah.
It's a strain. Like I mean, even on like in theater on Broadway, like there's a reason why the leads will do like 5 of the 8 shows or something like that because some of like when you're belting your face off. 8 shows a week and like 2 shows a day on a couple of days. It's like it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It hurts.
Did you see the Hamilton guy call out Madonna for being on the iPad?
I did.
What'd you think of that?
I mean,
you can see it.
I can, and also like at the same time, like if you're gonna be in a show, be in a show.
Yeah.
Like I get it. Maybe you were. I don't know. Maybe you're using the thing. Maybe you're using the screen to like. Zoom in because you can't see. Like that's not what she was doing. But it's just like there is a certain etiquette when it comes to being in a theater. It's different from music, different from a concert. That's a more of a looser sort of thing. But when you're in a show, because it's super distracting to people around you.
I think some people when they go to especially theater, because a lot of times you're sitting down, it's not like you're standing and drinking a beer and
right.
It's not like a rock show. A lot of times with theater, I don't think people realize, you and I both stood on those stages and maybe you get the light shine at you, but then you maybe drift to the left a little bit, and then you can all of a sudden this whole audience is there.
Yeah.
And that can be kind of you really do. You can connect with people, like you see them. It's kind of a crazy moment.
Yeah.
If you've never experienced it, so I could see where somebody would be, oh, Madonna on an iPad. That's distracting.
Right? Yeah. Like mid song, you see this glow on someone's face in a dark in a dark space. Yeah, it can be really jarring.
Yeah.
Really jarring.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting headline.
It is, and not to delve too deeply because she's kind of put her foot in her mouth as of late. But like Patti LuPone is famous for calling people out, for being if they're on like a device in a theater or something like that. Like she stopped shows and things like that. And there's this great story about Carol Channing. The great Carol Channing. Do you know Carol Channing? You know?
Yeah. What was the role she's famous for?
Hello, Dolly.
Hello, Dolly. Yeah,
She
okay,
was
thank
Dolly
you.
in Hello, Dolly.
That's right.
And there's this big scene in Hello, Dolly where she shows up at the top of the staircase and she's gonna walk down the staircase. And every night, as she comes out, she gets this thunderous applause because it's like this iconic moment. And one night the big reveal happens. She's standing up there on the top of the stairs and it's silence. And she just stands there until the applause happens. And then she goes. She's like, I'm not going. If you're not going to give me this, I'm not going to give that to you.
Wow.
It's like, it's that connection.
Huh. That's crazy. How much of that, I mean, who's lived that world, I mean, I'm sure, if you're directing a show or something, you don't want too many people taking liberties with their roles. But I mean, how much of that stuff does off the cuff happen during especially on Broadway, would you say?
Well, I mean, Broadway is so strictly regimented. There's not as much leeway in terms of being able to take those types of liberties. But
you do have massive egos though, and stars, so I'm sure
some certainly do.
Yeah.
Some certainly do, and it is that kind of thing, like where what she was doing is she wasn't trying to I think it was less. It was less about ego and more about like this is the moment, and this is what you've been waiting for. This is what I've been waiting for. So let's do it and let's get that energy because this is
the show payoff.
Right, it's the show payoff. There is nothing more invigorating than when you get to this pinnacle moment and you have that connection, and the audience gives you that that affirmation. There is nothing more energizing other than that to drive you through a show. Yeah,
damn, that's a good example. I like that. That's a good story there. Yeah. The energy you used to bring to that stage was also incredible.
I tried to, depending on the show, I would try to.
I don't mean to segue from that moment to you opening all these shows, but it was one of my favorite parts of going to the Firehouse. Was here comes the John part.
Well, because I think you need to set them up for what you need to get them excited so that when the artist comes out, they're hyped. Sure. They're hyped for it. Like because there are some folks that are not as well known. Like if Judy Collins walks out, she's gonna get an applause no matter what because she's a legend. Yeah. Same with Livingston Taylor, like folks like that. If they're coming out, they're getting that applause. But still, to get to build up that energy and build up that excitement so that when that artist is coming out, the crowd is already super excited. So then the artist comes out to this thunderous applause. They get super excited and they go right into this thing. Yeah. Because nothing will drain you more than and here's Drew Moholland.
Woo!
Yeah, like one person going, yeah, because then the artist will be like, thanks, buddy.
That was great. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, and then. Yeah. But then there's also some shows that you don't want to do that for. Yeah. Like if it's a show's going to be like an emotionally heart-wrenching sort of thing, you're not going to whip everybody up and get them all excited.
Let's get it going.
Let's go. Woo. All right. Let's get feeling things.
Now sit down. Be quiet.
Exactly.
Nice job getting Judy Collins, by the way.
Thanks. That was a good one.
Have you been here since I had Livingston Taylor? I forget what the timeline is. I have no concept of time.
Since he's been on the show?
I had him on. It was probably to preview the show that you got him for.
Yeah, it may have been. I think because it was last.
Do you remember the story?
Was it May or so? Or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, me and time. Yeah, come on. Yeah. When were you last on? Last month? Did you remember that? You might remember the story if I start to say it. You'll definitely will. If you remember it, you'll remember it. It's so he calls me the day before this show. And you've talked to him. He's got a very analytical, I would say, way about him. Drew Moholland. Yeah. Hi, Livingston Taylor. He goes, I'm very much looking forward to tomorrow's show. Me too. He goes, I had this thought. It's a kind of a long ride. I was thinking I'd fly my small plane to Plum Island Airport. I didn't tell you this?
I don't think so, no.
So I said, oh, okay, that'd be great. He goes, so I look at my options from there. I see Ubers could be tough. Is there any way you could pick me up from Plum Island Airport and drive me to the studio? Of course, I said, yes, I will do that. And one of them, I mean, I'll probably tell that story in 30 years and be that's like, great, that was a very magical day.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Best part is he's taken in Newburyport a little bit on the way. Like, you know, we're chatting a little bit, but, you know, he's definitely saying, I haven't been here in a while.
It was probably a year. Like literally, because he'd been in the fires like every year.
Oh, really?
Anyways, but
no, Drew, it was a year. But
no, the
best part, we did the show. It was great. You know, he hung out for a little bit afterwards. He even let some of the kids play the guitar here. Nice. Like, that's a cool story. You got to play Livingston Taylor's guitar. Yeah. But we go back to the airport, and he turns around. I took a picture of Livingston Taylor walking to his plane with his, guitar on his back,
the rainbow strap.
Exactly. And I think I said, so you don't have to like check in or anything. You just, I'm sure he made a flight path, but you know, you just go to your small plane, and as long as you stay under the deck, you go, you know? So he said, no, I'm just going to go. He walks about 50 yards. I've taken my picture. I'm about ready to get back in my car and part ways with Livingston for the day. Yep. And he turns around, he goes, Drew, can you just wait 1 second? Just make sure the thing starts up for me, will you? I'm like, what? You can't make this up.
He's so he really is. He's so funny. He just has this way, this way about him. Yeah. I had not a similar story, but I have a Livingston story of before I was here. I was working in Portsmouth, the Prescott Park, and there's no alcohol out in Prescott Park because it's a public park, and that was part of like the part of the with the deed. Yeah. When the Prescott sisters left the park. Okay. To the city. So they're part of my job. Back then was to police the area and make sure that so somebody was drinking a beer. I went up, I have to go up and grab it. This guy is I'm getting somewhat booed, and Livingston's like, "What's going on over there?" I'm like, "Oh,
you were getting booed for taking the beer."
Yeah. He's like, "Oh, we can't. There's no alcohol allowed." So he goes, "Bring that over here." And he wears either sometimes he has the long nails, but he also wears like that little silver pick on his thumb. Yeah. So he takes that and starts scraping off the label of this beer. He takes it from me, he scrapes off the label, and he goes, "Here you go, give it back."
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, man. Oh, we stopped the show. That's funny. You're like, this is my worst nightmare.
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, like that's just part of that's part of the gig sometimes.
And it leads to kind of a funny concert moment if you think about it, right?
Exactly. One of my other favorites is Sean Colvin played again at Prescott Park, and it was a little drizzly. She's like, I can't go out without a tent over my head, and it was windy as well as drizzly. So in all the pictures, I'm there on stage next to Sean Colvin holding the tent down.
No way.
So that it doesn't blow up during the show.
Oh my goodness, that is too funny.
Yeah.
She's great.
She is. She's super great.
And you're always most of the career after that to you, because who knows what would have happened if you didn't.
She was well established by the time she was playing Prescott Park.
Yeah.
The coolest thing about her was that the tour manager that toured around with her at that time was also Dave's tour manager. Oh. And so she popped off the tour to go with Sean Colvin. She was also touring with Head in the Heart at one point. So, got some fun stories.
That is good. It's funny. There's a coworker of mine who takes real issue when I just refer to Dave as Dave. Of course, we're talking to about Dave Matthews. He goes, "I'm sure you're talking about Dave Grohl." Yeah, no. And I'm like, "No, we're talking about Dave Matthews." Yeah.
That's right.
He's the Dave.
He's the Dave. Is there a Dave Grohl band? Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, my dad's Dave, and he's not even Dave.
He's not even Dave. Yeah. He's not the Dave.
Oh, too funny. It's been great to have you back on, John. Anything you want to say to the people of Newburyport here? I know you miss them.
I do. I mean, I do miss them, and it's good to be able to come down and visit every once in a while, and say hello and come visit. But as always, continue to support the arts. The arts are vitally important to everything that we do, and especially with everything that's going on in the world right now. It continues to to provide that that respite and that ability to kind of disappear for a little bit, but then also at the same time support each other.
Yeah.
Support each other. You never know, if your neighbor might be the one that needs fuel, might need fuel assistance. They might be receiving some extra food over the weekend, because things are just expensive.
Yeah.
Things are just expensive nowadays, and all it can take is one person losing a job, or a huge repair that needs to happen with a vehicle, for you to go to being all right to needing support.
Yeah.
So the same way when if you're looking, Drew, if you're looking for a new job, don't be afraid to look and take that risk.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask for the help that you need, because odds are there are far more resources available to you than you think.
Yeah, we're all in it together, right?
We are. We absolutely are.
Good to see you, my man.
You as well.
Pleasure as always. John
All
Moynihan
mine.
making his return to the Joppa Radio studios here. Hope you enjoyed that. Well, he'll be back. He's part of the family, so we don't actually ever let him fully go.
All right.
He has to come back around from time to time. Thank you, John. Thank you to Maeve Power producing the show, Sarah Hayden, the boss, and our small but mighty team here in Newburyport. I know it is hot out there. Stay cool, stay hydrated, stay in the AC, and hope maybe you stayed in the driveway and listened to this show. I don't know.
That's right. Do we have a Nelly outro?
A Nelly outro? You want a
It's
Nelly?
getting hot.
Oh, nice. I was wondering where you were going with that. I forgot that was him. What a hit song that
It
was.
sure was.
Yeah, that was a lot. He wasn't a one-hit wonder either. He had plenty.
I know, but that was the big one.
Yeah.
That was the it was a Band-Aid on the face.
St. Louis, right? St. Louis?
Is that where he's from?
I think so.
Uh-huh.
I think didn't he always wear the Cardinals jersey?
Oh, probably.
It's been a while. Those are my high school days. I think that's kind of ingrained
Mine
in me.
too.
I hope I'm not getting the baseball team wrong. I used to wear a baseball jersey. I think it was St. Louis. All right, good. We end with a Nelly, and enjoy your concerts, your Hanson shows.
Thank you.
I always like ending on a Hanson note.
Listen, can't wait for Hanson.
I know.
It's gonna be a
August
good
10th.
one. August 10th.
What day of the week is it?
It's a Sunday.
Nice.
They're headlining the second night of the Guster by the Sea.
Oh, gotcha.
Or is it Guster by the Ocean? I can't remember exactly what they called it.
I forget
but
too.
I think it's probably the ocean, because it is in fact
Yeah.
on the ocean, Portland. So
Gotcha. Is there a favorite song from your wife these days, or
from
Hanson?
From Hanson?
Yeah. Does she?
Yeah, I mean, she's "I Will Come to You" has always been one of her favorite ones. So
they better play it that night. There's the formal request.
they usually do. They usually do. That's one of the ones. But she gives me a hard time because are you gonna hear Bop? I'm like, yep. I am, and that was the only song I knew from them for a while.
What's that other one off that album though that we always talk about? It was rockin'.
I don't even remember.
Oh God, what's the here? Stall for me for a second.
Right.
We'll say goodbye with
Yeah,
you.
I mean, because there is Hanson. Like I said, I think my favorite album of theirs was the one where they did the string theory, where they had the string orchestra behind them, and they redid all their songs. Like I love a good orchestra.
Oh, Penny and Me, I always liked.
Oh yeah, Penny and Me. That's so Zach sings that song.
So Where's the Love? Is this the one?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Where's the love?
This is it.
That is a bop.
There you go.
Yep.
I think I can play it.
Yep.
Remember that one, people?
Yeah.
There you go.
So during this song, every time, because there's a part in the song where there's no where they stop the music, and every time Taylor's there in front of his piano going, "Where's the love? It's not enough." And
John's clapping wildly for those of you on the radio side.
Oh, then you gotta do the round and round.
No, he's fully dancing. He's fully dancing. It's getting wild. That'll do it. Live at Drew's house, everybody, with John Moynihan. I guess we're playing you out with some Hanson today, which is great. Happy summer, everybody. Stay cool.
Where